Welcome, 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 everybody. My name is Amista, and I'm here to read for people who show up in the room. But before that, we are going to be looking at what is best advice for manifesting over the next 24 hours. So be thinking about what is it that you would like to manifest over the next 24 hours. And then we're going to look at that best advice. So, what would you like to manifest over the next 24 hours? I'm sorry, but this is bugging me. That string hanging over the microphone is not what I want. All right, so best manifestation advice over the next 24 hours is what? And this is going to be good for those of you who find this video later, as well as for those of you who pop in while I'm actually still live. So, best manifestation, Shannon Mary, welcome back. Best manifestation advice that we have shows up, first of all, as the otter, which basically says that I am very comfortable expressing my emotions. And part of this is about this idea of expressing appreciation. That's kind of been a theme for our manifestation advice lately. And tradition, I see this as Zen. This is finding your peace, finding your power, figuring out where your authority lies in life, and using it with the strength that you actually have. And so for me, this is very much a Zen. This is when we're in alignment with our inner self. So this is basically, so far, we've got show appreciation for who we are, find that inner being and love on it, if you want to say that, brings us to this ideal spot of being able to manifest those things that we want, being able to do it, what we know we want to do to bring those things into being. So the first thing is recognize who we are, and then we can manifest like crazy. Misha, hello, welcome. All right, guys, so it looks like we've got two people in the room. I'm going to pick a number between 1 and 4. And whoever picks the number I'm fixing to write down is going to be the first person that I read for on this live stream. Number between 1 and 4. Misha, you got it right off the bat with a 3. So here's my question to you, Misha. Do you have a specific question for me today, or would you like me to take a peek at what Sacred Spirit would like to talk to you about? So you can put your specific question in the chat box, and it has to be specific. You can't just say career or love life. It has to be a specific question, or you can say message from Spirit. Okay, so put your specific question in the chat box. Please make sure it's a full question, not just a phrase. And while Misha's doing that, I'm just going to remind everybody I do offer private readings. This isn't the only place you can be for a reading from me. If you want your own reading without an audience, I do offer those, and those can all be found on my website in the description box below. And I do offer 1 or 2 question readings. Those are recorded. And I also offer live readings where we actually interact on the camera, or if you'd rather have a phone reading, we can do a phone reading. Either way. Okay, so we've kind of got 2 questions there. Let me sort of customize this for you in a way that will be helpful. Is DM going to be, ever is such a long time. How do I want to word that? Is DM going to reach out to Misha to talk about the idea of them coming together as a romantic couple? Will that happen within the next year from today? Let's make it more specific than ever. Because when we ask ever and we get a yes, what if it's in like a future lifeline where you're in a completely different body? Will DM reach out to Misha in order for them with the idea of them becoming romantically involved? All right, so if that's going to happen, we have some interesting cards here. If that's going to happen, it wouldn't be this year. Now, before we go any further, let me just say, we have free will, which means we can change the outcome of these. You guys can make my cards liars intentionally if you want to. So let's look at some of these details here, because it looks to me like there's room for some changes to happen if you really want them to happen. First of all, we have the Two of Wands. This says that, it's something that he's considering. All right. Now, we also have the Page of Arrows in reverse. This basically means that he's probably trying to get some information on you, and he may even be getting it through readings or some other kind of divination. Stag card in reverse, in this case, basically says that he doesn't have a position where he has authority. He may not be employed at all, but he may not feel like he's powerful enough for you, basically. He may not be like a supervisor somewhere at work or something like that. And then with this Page of Bows coming up behind that, that tells me that whatever's going on here is giving him some really low self-esteem. It's making him feel like he's not really good enough to actually come to you with an idea like that, even though we see that he's been thinking about it and he's been asking about you to somebody who can read or pick up energy. And then we have the King of Vessels. This says that he has real feelings for you. And these are strong feelings. These are feelings that are mature. These are feelings that are already like, okay, the honeymoon is over and I've seen what you look like when you don't have your makeup on and I still like you kind of feelings. Okay. So I think even though he has feelings for you, I think and he's been kind of checking you out, so to speak, this whole thing about his self-esteem and that he doesn't have a good high enough position in life to feel like he can bring that up with you, I think that's what's impacting. So where I say I see some things that could be changed here, he might just need a little bit of encouragement, that you would still be interested, or that, he has enough, or that he will have enough, and so it's fine now. But it looks to me like if we can figure out a way to put him beyond the self-esteem issue, which is holding him back, and let him have a little bit better self-esteem, I don't see why he wouldn't. He's certainly interested. Okay. The question is, can you do that? The question is, do you want to do that? Hello there, Amber. All right. So, one thumbs up in the room. Best version. Hello, hello. Everybody remember to thumbs up whenever you walk in. Looks like we've got... YouTube is telling me only one person in the room. I don't know if I believe that. Oh, that's sad, Misha. All right, so let's pick a number between 1 and 4. Whoever puts this number down first will be the next person that I read for. Number between 1 and 4. So YouTube is lying to me then. Oh, and we've got another thumbs up. Thank you, whoever did that. Let's see. 3 is not it. 4 is not it. Avneet coming in with that too. You've got it, my dear. Okay, so Avneet, do you have a specific question for me today, or do you want a message from Spirit? Oh, thank you for the thumbs up again. Somebody else brought one up. I like it. Thank you. Also, don't forget to share this video around with other people who might like to have a little short micro reading, or at least the chance at one. Okay, throw that specific question out there. What would you guys like to talk about while Avneet is typing? So while she's typing, I'm going to say, if you haven't been here before, definitely, and you want to catch these again, then you want to subscribe and you want to hit the notification bell so you know when I go live. At some point, I will be adding videos to this channel, but I don't anticipate that anytime soon. So right now, what you're going to catch is just notifications when I go live. Twin flame, my opinion, I think this is the third day somebody wanted my opinion on twin flames. My opinion is it's hogwash. The way that it's taught nowadays is kind of hogwash. So I believe that twin flames actually exist. I do believe that twin flames are a piece of the divine that has identical consciousness whenever it starts to have experiences in the world. And I believe that the twin flames are split up from each other so that they can have more experiences from that perspective than they could if they were, faster than they could if they were left as one piece. But I really think people saying, oh, this is your twin flame, you should stay with them, as hogwash. There's a lot of people that teach that twin flames, when you get back together, you heal each other up, and then you do this great work for humanity. Well, guess what? While you're healing each other up, you're miserable and you're scarring each other and you're making each other worse. And there's no great work for humanity coming out of that. I think the real deal with twin flames is that if we do get together for an experience, then we get together after we've managed to heal ourselves. And then we can do a great work for humanity together as a team. But this whole idea of this person is putting you through heck, but it must be your twin flame, so you should stay with them, which I've seen so many people go along with, and readers actually say this to people, is ridiculous. It's a poor excuse for a toxic relationship. That's what I think. And Avneet is still typing out her specific question. What else should we talk about? Do I feel we're supposed to be with a specific person? Maybe not. I feel like there's lots of good options out there that we can make a really great life with. Chani, hello, hello. Heading to Greece, for your public speaking. Yes. Oh, yay. Have we not looked at this before? I'm thinking we looked at this question already, Avneet. You know how I am about repeating questions. It is like a crutch to continue a toxic relationship. And unfortunately, I know a lot of light workers who are using that crutch and staying in toxic relationships, which is actually keeping them from helping the world as much as they could as individuals. Thank you, best version. I'm thinking that's a repeat question, though. I'm not going to ask a repeat. Pretty sure we answered this about a week or two ago. How you would be. Okay. Okay, so let's see how this goes. How will this public speaking engagement go that Evney is participating in? How will this whole thing go? Boo-ba-doo-doo-doo. Not just Evney, but the big picture, please. So the very first card that comes up tells me that this is a repeat thing. So this may be like an annual tradition or something that happens monthly, something like that. But this is something that is traditional. It's a repeat thing. So there's a strong foundation for it. People know who they're going to see at this thing. This is, this is something that is very well rooted. All right. Now, very interesting. What we have here is we have the tradition card in reverse. Even though this thing is very well rooted, things are a little bit, I don't know if I want to say chaotic this year, but they're not as smooth flowing with this get together as it normally is. Hello there, Anna. Now, Five of Stones is interesting because it talks about this idea of waiting. So there may be actually very long lines to get in here, or there may be some kind of problem with food service where people have to wait, but there's this idea of waiting for things to improve. So very interesting that that's coming up. Now, we have the 10 of Arrows, which talks about instruction. Isn't that interesting? And it's right after waiting. So this is telling me that these people's opinions in general of the first speaker or the first couple of speakers, I hope you're not first on the list, but it's kind of like they're waiting for some kind of news that's beneficial or helpful or new news. They're waiting for something that isn't old news, is what I have going on there. And we also have the Forest Lovers, which shows up at the end. This makes me believe that at the end of this, I think somebody's going to talk to you about this idea of you coming back again, like that this is not your first or your last appearance here. I think they're going to want you to come back and speak again. So that's how it goes overall. Arushi, hello. Welcome. All right, so it looks like we have 5 people in the room. I have no idea how accurate that is. I guess we can give or take 3. I'm going to put a number between 1 and 10 down, and whoever puts that number in the chat first is going to be the next person I read for. Number between 1 and 10. Don't forget to put thumbs ups, guys. I appreciate that. Also, don't forget to share this video with other people who could benefit from a short little reading if they get the chance to get it. 2 is not it. 7, Chan-ni. You got that in there first. I hope that makes. So Chan-ni, tell me if you would like to have a specific question answered or if you want a message from Spirit today. What would you like? So best version. That was interesting. You're 3rd or 4th on the list. Woohoo! Yeah, I'm not sure what they're waiting on, but the idea that instruction came up right behind the waiting card, I think they're waiting on a good speaker. I think they're waiting on somebody that doesn't bore them. So by the time you come up, they may be getting a little frustrated with speakers. You might have to be like, you might have to show them straight up out the gate, I've got something interesting for you. Okay, so we've got 2 questions there, Chan-ni. Let's start with the first one. And then if you want to catch me online the next time, maybe we can hit the next part of that if you're still needing to know that by then. Or you can always actually book a reading with me and we can look at the whole thing a little deeper. But for right now, let's look at when will Chandni get a new job? Show me when Chandni will actually start working at a new job. Will that happen? We're getting close to the end of this month. Let's do this. Let's do it like this and then narrow it down. Will that happen by the end of 2024, I mean. Will that happen by the end of 2024? I don't want to have to narrow it down that much. Will this happen by the end of 2024? Look at you. Are you going for a supervisory role? Because what you had pop up is the Forest Lovers, a partnership. So yes, this is definitely a new job. And you have the King of Bows. Now, the King of Bows can be telling me that you're getting a supervisory position, or it can be telling me a little bit about your new boss. Your new boss would be somebody who would think outside the box, would be very original, a great problem solver because they don't limit themselves to what culture or society would say. Think Elon Musk type of personality. That's what your new boss would be like. Or you're going to have a supervisory position in this new job. So are you going for supervisory positions? That's my first question to you when I look at this. And by the way, this is a yes by the end of this year. I do want to narrow it down in time. But before I start looking at that, are you going for a supervisory position? Thinking of managerial. Okay. Well, this would be confirmation that that's what you should be looking for, is something managerial. Let's see. We may even see if you have to travel for it by the time I'm done here. Let's take a peek. Will Chandni begin working at this new position? We're at the end of September, October, November, December. By start of workday, November 15th of 2024. I want to write that down so I don't forget where I am in time, what I've looked at and what I haven't. I don't think that you will be starting by then. I do think that you will have heard about a position. We've got my happiness card by then, but I don't think you'll actually be starting by then. Will Chandni be starting this new job by the 30th, beginning of workday on the 30th of November of 2024? Oh, that's sweetness. Sweetness. Yes. So you'll be starting somewhere between the 15th and the 30th of November. Let's see, that's October 15th and 30th. 15th is a Friday. 30th is a Saturday. Let's see if you'll be starting by no later than the 25th of November. Let's get this narrowed down for you a little bit more. By no later than the beginning of the workday on the 25th. Not yet. Okay. So that's October again, duh. Let's look again at November. Okay. Will should be starting 26, 27, 28, 29. 29th. You will be going to work for the first day on the 29th. I don't have anything that indicates here a long commute. That doesn't mean that it couldn't show up, but I don't have anything that says for sure that you have a long commute to work. You will officially be starting on the 29th of November. And I would say yes, some kind of supervisory position. This is more of middle supervisor, not like vice president or something like that. Okay. Let's see. We have how many people in the room? 3. I'm going to pick a number between 1 and 6. Whoever puts the number I'm writing down and circling in the chat first will be the next person I read for. A number between 1 and 6. You're quite welcome. 5 is not it. 2 is not it. 3 is not it. 4, Anna Philippa. You got it, honey bunny. Do you have a specific question for me today? Or do you want a message from Spirit? Anna Philippa. Anna, you've been in my room a bunch of times. I don't do phrases because I could take love reading and I could spaz on that for about 3 hours and still not be done. So you have to ask me a specific question, or I'm just going to give you a message from Spirit, and Spirit will pick the topic. You tell me. What do you want? These are just supposed to be quick little freebies here. We're not diving in. If you want to dive into something like that, then that's when you would get like an actual reading with me. And we can look at every area you want to about your love life in an actual reading, like an official reading. All right, so message from Spirit for Anna Philippa. So Spirit picks the topic. I do not. It may or may not cross over with what you just asked. A lot of times it does. So Spirit picks the time frame. They pick whether this is past, present, or future. If you don't recognize it, obviously it's future. If you do recognize it, you'll know if it's past or present. I won't know. So I will talk as if it's present because the cards are on the table in front of me right now. The cards are here in the present. Okay. We have an interesting situation here because I basically, do I have 2 people? I think I've got 2 people here. So Anna, you may be the mother, and I may be looking at a grandmother in this situation, or we may be looking at something that is not related like that, but I'll tell you the cards I'm looking at. First of all, we have a Queen of Vessels, and I'm taking that to be you. The Queen of Vessels is going to be somebody who has water pretty strong in their chart, and water is Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So if you have any of these pretty strong in your chart, or any combination of these pretty strong in your chart, this would be indicated by this card. It talks about your personality. It tells me that you're somebody who picks up other people's feelings pretty easily. It also tells me that you would give the shirt off your back if you thought it would help somebody else. It tells me that you've got a lot of wisdom, but sometimes you may be overly loyal, and sometimes you may give to people who don't necessarily give back. You may not be like the best judge of character. You might feel like you are, but you may find yourself helping people who just can't appreciate it. They can't find it within themselves to appreciate it. And I'm not talking about they can't pay you back for it. I'm talking about like emotionally, they just can't go, oh, that was such a sweet thing that she did for me. That's amazing. Okay. So this talks to me about your personality, says that you really like to nurture. You like to nurture the people around you, and you're good at emotionally uplifting and helping people. All right. Now, next card that we have here can be the grandmother. This is the card of the mother of all mothers. This is the mother of all the queens and the duck. We just had that Queen of Vessels show up. So this could be like you're the mom and this is the grandma. All right. Now, the other way that this can come in, and I want to look at it because I don't know context in your life. The other way that I want to look at this is that this is the green woman. She is the master at manifesting those things that she loves in her life. So you may have somebody that is in your sphere of influence or that you're interacting with who's really great at manifesting. And everything that I told you about this Queen of Cups being empathic, liking to nurture and to give and all of that good stuff, to uplift people, especially emotionally, she takes it to a whole new level. Okay? All of those good attributes, she takes it to a whole new level. All right? But she also knows when giving too much is unhealthy. She doesn't have a lot of people taking advantage of her to the point that she's, being set back by that. She has a good sense of healthy boundaries and she has good integrity and she expects other people to have good integrity. And if they don't, too bad for them. It won't work out well. All right. They'll miss out on her nurturing and upliftment. Okay. So this is the type of person that you're interacting with. Okay. Now, let's look at your best advice or heads up around this. We have, starting off, an 8 of arrows, which does talk about struggle. It talks about going through something. If you look at this card, let me see if I can get it more in the camera. You can see that there's all these bows being aimed at this poor person. She doesn't, or all these arrows. She doesn't even have a bow. She just has a staff. All these arrows are being aimed at her. They're all missing. Doesn't minimize the fact that they're being aimed at her. The wind is blowing ridiculously. And she is still moving forward through this deep snow with her staff, with a lamp. So she has not lost her optimism. She has not lost her energy. She has not lost her vigor. But she's doing something that takes a little elbow grease, to say the least about the most. All right? So there's some kind of struggle involved in this situation. I'm not sure right now if this is your struggle or her struggle. But the struggle is coming about because one of you is doing something new that you're not familiar with, that there's not really an owner's manual to tell you how to do this. You're moving into a situation that is foreign, or this other person is, that is foreign. And they're having to feel around, or you're having to feel around and figure out how to manipulate in this new scenario, in this new situation to you. Okay? Now, what we have coming up here is the ancestor in reverse. Now, the ancestor in reverse, if you look at this card right side up, anytime there's 2 trees or 2 of anything that has a similar shape to trees, in this particular deck, it talks about a decision. And in this case, it talks about a big decision that's going to impact your life. And it talks about this idea of, even if you feel like you're being called to make a certain decision, it talks about this idea of really evaluating what is going to be the cost of this. Because once you make this decision, there is no turning back. Okay? So this card says, evaluate the cost. It might look like it's really appealing, but evaluate the cost. Is this a cost you can pay? And if it is, get ready. Prepare to pay that cost. If it's not, or if it's something you don't want to pay to have whatever's on the other side of those 2 trees, then we decide not to do that. But this card asks us to evaluate what is the cost of this decision. Now, you got the card like this. The card like this basically says, still same thing, evaluate the cost of this decision, because once you make it, there's no turning back. This may not be the direction for you when this card's in reverse. This says, I'm evaluating this and I'm realizing I don't want what it takes to get what's on the other side of those two trees. Okay. So it's interesting. So an example of a decision like this would be, in a lot of cultures in the world right now, say that you decide that you're bisexual or transsexual, or that you have a different idea about your sexual identity than what the doctor had when you were first born and they looked at your genitalia. When you decide to let people know that, by the way, I'm not what I look like to you, as far as my consideration of my gender, that's a decision that there's no turning back from. Once you've let that cat out of the bag, you can't go back and say, oh, no, that was just a joke. That is going to spread faster than wildfire, and the repercussions are going to be happening quickly, whether they're good or whether they're bad, depending on who they're coming from. So that's an example of a decision like we're talking about on this card. This is a decision where once you've made it, you can't turn back. Spirit is saying, really think about this. This might not be the way forward. And this person may be helping you to see that, because this person is further down the path than you are. As a Queen of Cups, you're like the little sister to this person, but this person is further down the path. She's got some maturity. She may be a little bit more of a crone in this type of situation. And so when you're talking to her about this decision, she may be pointing out things that you might not have thought about because she's lived it. That's what I think is going on here. All right, so we've got 5 people in the room. I've got 5 thumbs ups. Yay! If you guys know anybody else who might benefit from a quick reading like this, it's still a good time to share this video. I'm still going to be here a little bit longer, so please do that. You're quite welcome. Thank you for letting me know you understand. Alicia, hello. All right, so I'm going to pick a number between 1 and 5. Or excuse me, I'm going to pick a number between 1 and 10, actually. And I've got it written down and circled. Whoever puts that in the chat first will be the next person I read for. Number between 1 and 10. Okay, 3 is not it. 7 is not it. Nicola, hello. 8, Chandni. All right, so Chandni, because I already read 5 cards for you, I'm just going to give you 1 this time around. Okay, honey bunny? And then we'll do it all over again. Everybody remember to share this video with other people who might like to have a little quick reading like this. All right, Chandni. So this is going to be a card of the day. This is going to be talking about something that has happened within the last 24 hours or will happen within the next 24 hours. It is kind of like a lottery. Doing it this way, let Sacred Spirit help me figure out who I need to actually read for. Okay, so you've got the mirror showing up here. This is telling me that within the past 24 hours or by this time tomorrow, and this totally ties in with your question earlier, actually, you're going to be figuring out what kind of strengths I bring to the table. What can I point up? What can I talk up about myself? What can I highlight about me? What's an asset about me for somebody else? And as you're figuring that out, you're also going to be thinking about, where would my strengths be most appreciated? So this is perfect for somebody who is thinking about what kind of job they want to get and where they could get a job like that would pay them well. And it's also perfect for somebody who is looking for a relationship. So I'm not sure which way this plays out for you. I know you're doing the job thing, but This could be in relationship too, where it could be talking about, I'm sorting things out. What do I want from a relationship? What do I bring to a relationship? Who would actually be somebody good for me to partner up with? Who could appreciate me for who I am? Okay, so this can be an employment situation or a relationship situation. That's what I most commonly see it play out as. This could also be really if you're looking for like the perfect house or anything like that. But those are my most two common ways for that to show up. So it's a double whammy. Because definitely editing the resume would indicate that type of consideration. And going through a down phase of a relationship sure makes us think about this stuff. All right, so we have 4 in the room. I'm going to pick a number between 1 and 8. Whoever puts the number I just circled in the chat first will be the next person I read for today. Seven is not it. 3 is not it. 1, Alicia. Shannon Marion right behind her. Alicia, do you have a specific question for me today, or do you want a message from Spirit? This has been an interesting day. You guys usually go almost all messages from Spirit. Today we've had almost all questions. Message from Spirit for Alicia. Okay, so everybody be on the lookout for a piggyback message. See if you get a message from Spirit as well. A lot of times there are piggyback messages. A lot of us are dealing with similar themes in our lives at the same time. So I think that's why piggyback messages work so well. At least that's part of it. Okay, Alicia. Darella, welcome, welcome. Glad you made it, honey. I was missing you. All right. So, Alicia, what do we have here? All right. Put on your hard hat and your safety belt, honey bunny. First of all, you have the stag showing up in reverse. This is telling me about somebody who has some kind of authority or leadership in your life who is corrupt. They may not tell the truth. They may not be above manipulation to get things done. And that is covered by my 6 of stones, which is labeled as exploitation in this deck. Normally, I don't see it as exploitation. In this case, right along with somebody with strong narcissistic tendencies, yes. So you've got somebody with strong narcissistic tendencies who's exploiting you right now, and this is what Spirit wants to talk to you about. And by the way, I'm saying right now, because the cards are in front of me right now, this could be past, present, or future. Now, best advice or heads up around this situation. We have the Knight of Bows, which is my fox, showing up in reverse. Now, my fox in reverse as advice or heads up is kind of interesting because that fox in reverse, first of all, he likes to have people around him laughing. And when he's in reverse, it's kind of a no matter what it takes type of thing. So this person might make some jokes that are a little bit inappropriate. They might be using some sarcasm, some cutting words. This is basically, I don't think this is advice. I think this is Spirit recognizing that, yep, you've kind of done that. That's been sort of your self-defense. If you haven't already, you may. And, Spirit knows everything. We can try to candy coat things when we talk to Spirit, but Spirit's aware. There's really no point in that. And this is Spirit saying, yeah, this one was a tough one to deal with and still be a nice person. At least as nice as you would like to be. Now, 2 of Stones challenge in reverse. This basically says, yep, kind of drop the ball on that one. basically. This is normally our juggler. And so this is like, yeah, I dropped the ball. Like, I didn't even challenge myself to try to be nice to this person. I just let this go. All right. Now, next thing that we have showing up is the Nine of Vessels. The Nine of Vessels says, get your Zen back. There's plenty of it out there. This is generosity and abundance. This says take some time for yourself to kind of rejuvenate, to get beyond this idea that this person triggered you a little bit and to come into that place of calmness again. Like when we get triggered by somebody, no matter how horrible they are, when we get triggered by them, that's really our indication that, okay, we need to find our Zen. We need to do a little breathing exercise. We need to get out in nature. We need to do something to find our Zen back. And that's what this is. This is just getting your Zen back. And look at that generosity all around. Like the energy is around us everywhere. All we have to do is tap into it. So we choose how we view things. We choose our perspective. This talks about choosing a perspective of noticing the abundance that the divine has all around us. The abundance of calm and of peace and of security and stability. All of that's here. Focus on that. Don't focus on Mr. Meanie. Hello there, Cheryl. I hope that makes sense for you, Alicia. And it's funny, I think you got a little snarky with this person, and I think you're kind of beating yourself up on it. You're like, well, I'm trying to be nice. You probably are a lot nicer than most people to this person, I will say that. All right, so we have 6 in the room. I'm going to pick a number between 1 and 12 and circle it. And whoever puts that number in the chat first will be the next person I read for. Number between 1 and 12. 6 people in the room and 10 thumbs ups. Yay! Cheryl Ford, look at you, magic woman. And Mary Shannon right behind her. Were you the one that came in right behind the last one too? Let's see. Yes. Oh, that's frustrating. Okay. So, Cheryl Ford, do you want a message from Spirit or do you have a specific question for me? Oh, man. A classmate was very nice. Gotta love technology, is right. An art critique yesterday, classmate was right. That's funny. All right, Cheryl, message. Okay. Here we go. Past, present, or future. I don't pick the topic or the time frame. I will speak about it as if it's the present because the cards are in front of me right now. Everyone that is not Cheryl, be on the lookout for a piggyback message. If it fits, make good use of it in your life. However, if it doesn't resonate with you, please don't try to make it fit. Well, isn't that funny? Some people just think they can be rude all over the place and nobody's going to be rude to them. And I imagine they were surprised because you come off as being harder on yourself about it than anybody else. So that's probably not your normal. Okay, so Cheryl. 4 vessels in reverse. Very good, very good, very good. I'm so proud of you. You could have chosen to have a pity party. Instead, whatever this is that disappointed you, you just went, whoop, wait, where's the silver lining? I'm going to find that silver lining. There it is. Now I'm working with the silver lining. Thank you very much. Very proud of you, Miss Cheryl. Okay, now what do we have crossing that card? We have my balance card coming up here. Well, look at this. Isn't this such a nice combination? This is telling me, you know what? I'm going to stay balanced mentally and emotionally. How I feel is important to me. And I'm actually making a conscious effort to stay balanced and not to let somebody or something get me down. Look at you. So proud of you. All right, now let's look at your best advice or heads up around this situation. I think it's up to you to take some leadership here with the Stag card. It's time for you to start taking control of this situation. You've got the Ace of Arrows here. This is initiate communication. I just heard initiate the launch pattern. The arrow does look like it's getting launched, right? But seriously, initiate communication. You're taking control here over this thing that was disappointing. You're initiating communication now. And what does that communication say? That communication says, I don't have to do this, and I don't plan on carrying this responsibility. Especially if there's something about it that's disappointing, I have other things to put my energy and efforts into. Hello there, Crystal. I'm fantastic. How are you? All right, so I hope that makes sense for you, Cheryl. I love the oh boy. All right, let's see. 7 people in the room. I'm going to pick a number between 1 and 14. Everybody remember to put a thumbs up when you come in. And I'm circling it right now. Whoever puts that number in the chat first will be the next person I read for. Number between 1 and 14. 13, Shannon Mary. Shannon was on it this time, man. As soon as I said it, she's like, I am getting this. Thank you very much. This second place thing is not working for me, she says. All right, honey bunny, do you have a specific question for me today, or do you want a message from Spirit? I would say whoop whoop too after coming in twice, 2 times. Okay, what would you like to talk to Shannon Mary about today? So, same rules as usual. I don't pick the topic or the time frame, but I am going to talk about it as if it's present tense because the cards are in front of me right now. Let's see, what do we have? Ooh. Thank you, Dorella. All right, so topic is, who am I reading for? This is Shannon. Okay. So Shannon, your first card basically tells me that you've got a situation where you've got some low self-esteem going on. Usually I see this when somebody tries to tell us that, we're not worth whatever, or we're not doing whatever right, or whatever. Somebody else is the only one that can tell us we have low self-esteem or can bring our self-esteem down, because innately we're born knowing our worthiness. So whether this is a parent that, you're still hearing their voice so many years later, or whether this is a person on the outside of your mind, somebody's got you thinking that, you're not worth what you actually are worth. So self-esteem is not in its ideal spot right now. And what we have crossing, oh, those are my favorites to hear that kind of beep from. Had to self-beep. All right, so Page of Arrows showing up in reverse. This is interesting to me because this low self-esteem actually has you looking into what I call secrets of the universe. And maybe this person is even telling you, this may be a cycle, like a circular thing. Maybe this person is even telling you that, well, you're not so smart. You're looking at runes or tarot cards, or you're looking at the paranormal, or you think dead people talk. Whatever they're saying It may have to do with some kind of secret of the universe that's making your self-esteem lower, but I don't see this keeping you from investigating a secret of the universe, you know? Because this is still coming up here. This is investigating a secret of the universe. So, me, secrets of the universe are anything that influences our universe that we're not taught about in public school in fourth grade or maybe anywhere else either. All right. So, it is things like what I do, it's paranormal, it's energy, it's string theory, it's all this stuff, laws of attraction, law of abundance, law of, what is that, assumption, all this stuff falls under secrets of the universe for me. So this is digging in, finding out more about it. Okay. So something having to do with this lower self esteem is being impacted by the idea that you're looking into a secret of the universe. Okay. Now let's look at your best heads up or advice around this. Thank you for filling in the beat for me. So here's the thing. Here's the thing, Shannon Mary. Look at this. Do you know what card this is? Any guesses? This is the seer. This is the high priestess. This is somebody like me. This is somebody who knows how to read energy, somebody who knows how to manipulate energy, somebody who is familiar with energy. She's looking at a scrying bowl filled with water. She's wearing the wisdom of the owls with the owl feather cloak, not cloak, shawl. She's covering her head. She is keeping her crown protected from any kind of silliness. She has every single kind of element in her possession or right around her that she's using. She can manifest whatever she wants to manifest because she knows how to manipulate energy and she knows how to read energy. And look at that tree behind her. This talks about strength. This talks about old school abilities, abilities that have been around since the ancient times. You have these. For this card to show up in your reading, this says you are powerful, at least at reading, and you are probably also powerful at manipulating the energy that you can read. Now, now, I'm totally on a soapbox here, so here we go. We're just going to ride this out. I hope y'all can tolerate me. This idea that somebody is talking you down because you have abilities tells me that that person feels very threatened by your abilities. The only people who have ever told me you're not that good of a psychic had stuff that they didn't want me to see when I read about them. Flat out. Now, let's keep moving. Queen of Bows. This says you've basically taken your psychic abilities, your energetic abilities, maybe I should say, and you've taken them underground. You're kind of doing things behind the scenes when the hubby isn't home, when he's not going to find out about it. If he was around, you certainly would not be, excuse me, watching this video. Nay, nay. Not where he could be aware of it. All right. Now, let's look at this. Ace of Vessels in reverse. Interesting card, isn't it? What I'm hearing as I look at it is the truth comes out. The truth comes out whether we want it to or not. So you can take this underground if you want to, but why? The truth is going to come out anyway. Something's going to slip at some point. Here's the deal. You can let this person impact your self-esteem until you are not the person that you were designed to be, or you can be the person that you were designed to be, and this person has to figure it out. Are they going to be on board or not? But that choice is yours. How you live your life is yours. When you die and you're standing in front of the great divine and accounting for your life, nobody else is going to be explaining why you didn't utilize all your talents and abilities to the fullest. Only you can explain that. Your spouse isn't going to be standing there explaining that. He's not going to be going to bat for you. You're going to have to explain this because it's your life, it's your talent, it's your ability. Are you going to let somebody make you small? Because that's your choice right now. You can let somebody make you small, or you can live fully. That's what we have there. Well, I've already given you a free message here. If you have another question and you want like a follow-up, then I would suggest going to my website and getting a one-question reading, and everything is explained there how to do that. Or you can try and catch me next time I'm going live, and you can ask me that then. Here's the deal, though. I'm getting on an airplane tomorrow morning and going back to where my folks are, and I'm not going to be actually settling down somewhere until the evening. So I probably won't be online tomorrow. It'll probably be the next day before I come back online. So if you want to do a question, like anytime I get a paid reading, that takes priority in my life. So obviously, if you want to do a question, I'm still going to be handling that. You can, either tonight before I start packing or on my layover if you don't get it until tomorrow or whatever. But I can't guarantee when I'm going to be live again. I don't expect to be tomorrow. All right, so let's see here. All right. I want to do something nice for Dorella because she has been so diligent in moderating. So, Dorella, do you have a specific question for me today, or do you want a message from Spirit? And everybody else, be on the lookout for a piggyback message. Message for Dorella. Okay. All right, let's see what we get. Crystal, you're right. I try to stay here about an hour, and then I do whatever else in my life is calling me. Okay, so Dorella, ooh, look at you. We like this. All right. You've got my 3 of arrows coming up in reverse. This talks about the end of a hard time or a heartbreak, okay? Now, it's covered by my 6 of bows, which is abundance and appreciation as well. So this tells me that there's something going on, and I don't know if it's past, present, or future, so I'm going to talk as present. There's something going on that brings an abundance into your life and that ends some kind of heartache or heartbreak. So this could be that, some money comes into your life, you get to pay up some old bills that were bothering you, that they're not there, something like that. Could be what's going on here. All right. Now, next thing that we have showing up here is your best advice or heads up around this. Page of Arrows. Now, the Page of Arrows is somebody who she has a message. Pages are messengers. And so this is some kind of good message coming in. When it's in reverse, it's researching, digging for information. This talks about some kind of message coming in. And with this particular deck, when I see the Page of Arrows, you may not have expected this message. Look at all this snow on the ground. Like, you can't see everything that's under the ground. You may not see that this message is coming in. So there's some kind of unexpected message. And with the Page of Bows or the Stoat, this talks about something that you feel really good about. It actually helps your self-esteem. Okay. And we have the Heron coming up in reverse. Well, when he's right side up, I like him because he talks about seeing the new day begin. So he talks about watching new beginnings. When he comes up in reverse, I like him because he talks about this idea that this is not really a new beginning anymore. The new beginning has faded. We're later in the day now. So now this is where the magic may have worn off. Now it's time to roll up the shirt sleeves and put in some elbow grease. Okay, so this tells me that if you're looking for some kind of work or some kind of job or some kind of money to come in, there's a message coming in about this. It's going to be a message that you really like, that helps your self-esteem, and it's going to be a continuation of something that you've already begun. So this is going to be a place where you already have your resume out, or a place where you've already put out the word that I'm looking to work, or it's going to be something like you've done before, and this is going to be sort of a continuation of that. Okay, so I take this as very good. Okay, but I don't think this is about Tony. This is about abundance. Just so you know, we're not on the same track here. All right. So thank you guys very much for being here today. I appreciate all your company. You guys being here is what makes these videos fun for me. I would hate to talk to just an empty camera and get no response back, which is what the regular videos are. They get very tedious and tiring. These are a lot more fun when I get to interact with you. So thank you very much. If you're new here and you want to make sure you don't miss another video like this where I'm doing readings for people in the room, you definitely want to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you know the next time I do go live. Everybody, thank you once again, and have a fantastic day. Peace out.